A lot of surprises with episodes 5 and 6 because, shockingly, this was not as bad as the other episodes. Now, were they good episodes? No, but were there good things about the episodes? Yes, because the main thing that they've had really has been the costume design and the production work, which does make it look like they've traveled back in time. Then they do too many things to sort of disrupt that with the modern language or the dialogue doesn't quite fit. But these episodes, things finally did kind of come together, and the pacing was a lot stronger. The twists made sense and were pretty interesting. They had a lot of good things, and even Jacob Anderson, I will say, actually did some good acting at the end of episode 6. So it had a lot of good things going for it, but of course, then there's the really stupid tropes they keep putting in. Now, some of this is inherent into the material. It's kind of like a horror movie where if the people just leave the building or leave the house and don't come back, they're safe, but they keep coming back and encounter the monster. Yeah, it's one of those things. And it's clear they're going to put in a lot of racial messages. Okay, fine, whatever. But now they're adding in other political issues and they don't fit at all the story. They're really forcing it into the story and it's so blatant. It really got distracting beyond a certain point. I have no issue with politics in popular culture per se. Look at Star Trek. Star Trek had a lot of political episodes. They discussed genocide, racism, different forms of justice, very deep issues about slavery and exploitation. But even that was subtle. This is not subtle. They are very, very on the nose with messaging. So that brought the score down. Also, in certain places, of course, the twists don't make a whole lot of sense and they seem to contradict what they set up earlier. I will just say, because I'm keeping it non spoiler, that the powers the vampires now have are insane. The amount of powers they now have are just seem to be infinite. They seem to be only threatened by direct sunlight. That's about it. They can even be out in the sun for a little bit. So you're like, really, what are they fearful of? And what's the dramatic tension? They seem nearly invincible. Even if they get badly beaten up, they will heal up and they're back on their feet, and that's it. So the world building is very weak in many places. But it was actually pretty strong in other places. Like the way that time flowed in these episodes actually made a whole lot of sense. So that was pretty good. So again, there were good things about these episodes, but there were so many stupid things they kept bringing in that it's like, it was very iffy. But I will say the Easter eggs, for once, actually weren't annoying. Like they have references to Superman, which I appreciated. Those were pretty funny, and they actually reference the film in a respectful way. And this time, when they are using elements of the novel and the film, as well as the larger canon, it actually kind of made sense. We get a little bit more with Stott and Magnus. I'll just leave it there. I thought that was very well done. But again, what they're building up towards seems a little flimsy. This really doesn't seem to be an Anne Rice adaptation. This really just feels like an MCU movie in disguise, and they're just building up to their end game. But what is the end game? Who is the end game? Is it Akasha? Within this new story, the Akasha story technically already happened, so I'm very, very confused. And given the amount of power these vampires have, like, what is Akasha gonna do? Is she gonna have like cosmic powers? Is she gonna have like godlike powers to just bring down lightning, like Palpatine? I don't know. Made a lot of progress from the first couple of episodes, which were totally stupid. This is like not a stupid episode, so you got to give them points for that. But it still feels very weak and flimsy. They're really depending too much on the sex scenes and just the romance of these vampires and the melodrama. And if you like that stuff, that's fine. I just don't think it's cohering well enough with the other parts of the story. But overall, these were better episodes. I will say, though, one thing that was really curious is that these were visually really dull episodes. The other episodes were at least trying to be more visually dazzling, but the plots and the characters and everything was really stupid and silly. You couldn't take it seriously. This one, they kind of moderated the visual style and it made for better episodes, but I kind of wish they were able to combine these elements. So they definitely have a lot of progress to make. At least it's getting more interesting and exciting because the other episodes were just deadly dull and really meandering and going in circles. So finally, we're making progress. They're giving Lestat a bit of a sharp edge, which they really needed because he was coming off too good. And they toned down that Louis is a black Batman. He is still black, and him dealing with racial issues in some cases made sense, but him being Batman and Bruce Wayne for a lot of these episodes was really annoying. They've toned down the stupid stuff, but it's still too stupid to really recommend fully. I'm going to give these episodes 6 out of 10 for each one. Hopefully, they'll build up to some interesting, explosive finale because that's really all they have left. They want to be a more flashy kind of adaptation, that's fine. But when Queen of the Damned is the decidedly more serious adaptation compared to this, Yeah, they gotta have to work on the world building and characters a lot more.